You're Near the Wild with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska.
Hello, Ggreg Chaille.
Hey, John Norris.
What's up?
Well, haven't heard from Becker, so I don't know what's up.
I haven't talked to him since Saturday.
Oh, you went into the bar on Saturday?
Yeah, we had the Pulse Burlesque show, so I've been hanging out doing that.
That's right. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it went well. It went really well.
Yeah. Well, and they always put on a good show. It's not like they're not like remember the Nasty Girls? Do they still do it there? Candy Pie Parfait?
Yes. They have a show coming up. We're all very excited.
That's like West Side Story, the Sharks and the Jets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to, say anything for you. It seems to me that the girls who get a little bit more raunchy than you would probably expect before midnight. You know what I mean? I mean, it's an 8 o'clock show, and it's pretty raunchy. But I mean, there's a market for that. But
it's very graphic. I don't know. It's not even the so it's very lewd. But they were also super shit faced when I saw them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they were demanding shots from the crowd and stuff, and like some of the girls, they would like stop their act until like somebody brought them a shot. I was like, shit.
No more burlesque until we get some Jägermeister.
You want this glove to come off? You better line up those shots.
Well, I'm all for the social aspect of drinking being prompted by whoever the spotlight is on, because that was really how I always approached it, and it served me well, because if my theory was, if I keep drinking, everyone will drink along with me. Even if I was wrong, I ended up getting shit-faced, and that made it.
And you don't care at that point.
Yeah, then it's like, well, that one, maybe we'll tweak it a little. Maybe I'll just drink wine. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but it's going good. I guess, like, there's some confusion about, like, the start time of the show. So on Friday, like, Coots was telling everybody and putting out that the show started at 9 or 8:30, and Stephanie and all the dancers were telling everybody it started at 7.
Ooh, so there's that's not even close.
not even remotely close. So it was like 6:30, and like people were lining up, and it was like, I don't know, 70 or 80 people lining up, and they didn't even have like a bartender.
Yeah, no way.
So I don't know, like, so that's just a miscommunication.
Well, is it that thing of doors and showtime, that communication? Because there's quite a disparity between 7 and 9.
It must have just been a showtime thing, not even like a doors thing. Because, well, the thing is that I think was confusing was there are 2 shows on Saturday and 1 show on Friday. So I think, Saturday's times are 7 and 9.
Yeah. And
so I think they just figured on Friday it would also just be 7. So I don't know, but
wait, who figured it would be 7?
I
Pulse?
I guess Stephanie. but it is odd that like 70 people showed up for the show at 7, and only like I was standing by the door, and only like 4 people came in at like 8 trying to go to the show that they thought started later.
Oh, so clearly the word was out with the Pulse people that the show started, doors at 7, show at 8, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just really goes back to, someone from the performing end, not the building end, not the facility end. The performance end needs to be on top of it, especially day of event. I mean, it's one of those things where like, just relax, it'll be fine. No, Coots is kind of a big machine, and a big small machine. And when things like this happen, it's because someone just figured they didn't need to make a call. So yeah, it's too bad.
What happened?
We're talking about the burlesque show, and just see on Friday, like there was confusion about like what time it was supposed to start.
What time was it supposed to start?
It depends on who you ask.
Well, what about the burlesque people? What time did they think they were going to start?
They thought they were starting at 7, and then the
Doors
audience
at 7.
did too. Everybody except the bar thought they were starting at 7.
Everybody except the bar.
Yeah. So, but it worked out. Luckily, there were servers and bartenders, and people drank and had a good time. So
Yeah, I mean, it all ends up working out. I mean, it's pretty. It's one of the. It's uncomfortable, and you've got there's a little bit of scrambling, but yeah, won't happen again.
yeah.
Hey Becker,
Becker, do you have like the ghost of your old business partner?
It sounds like he fell into a glass recycling bin, and he's trying to get out.
I'm busy. Well, I thought we were doing this at 7.
Clearly,
then-
look at my text says we start at 3 my time, and then show starts at 7. So this is the
Mine.
prelim.
Yeah, mine says doors at 12:30. So I've just been hanging out.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad I'm that late then.
So you're Becker, you're back in Anchorage.
I am back, and I'll tell you what. For whoever predicted November would be the coldest motherfucking piece of shit ever, they're a fucking genius.
Oh,
It is cold.
pretty cold.
It is awful.
It's fucking brutal.
Well, I got to tell you guys, we had some snow yesterday here in Bisbee, Arizona.
What? So what kind of bug does that bring out?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was one of those things where I just kind of like peeked out the window and I could see this little, that little, it looks like almost someone's shaking like a cup full of potato flakes. It was nothing, it was melting before it even hit the ground, but it was very cute.
Yeah, but the thing is in a place like Bisbee, all you need is potato flakes, and it's official.
Yeah. So that's our
And then,
winter.
Cars are piling up on the side of the road.
People are burning their furniture.
Yeah, everyone called in sick. Oh, wait a minute. No one out here works. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
They just came around for
How's
the
this
potato flakes.
This isn't going to affect postal delivery, is it?
Yeah, Pony Express. Yeah, but that's, we still got, well, you brought up the insects, so you open that door. I'll finish it. There's still praying mantis floating around and grasshoppers.
Wow.
And the praying mantis are huge now. They're about 4 inches head to tail, and they're just walking on the street like a gang member.
Like ISIS.
Yeah.
Tipping their hat at you. Good day,
Just
sir.
cruising.
Don't you
No.
think we should make ISIS the face of praying mantis? Because they're just make them praying mantis to go. Ah.
Becker, your connection's really bad. Hey, John, you there?
I'm there.
Yeah, Becker's voice sounds really distorted, like it's low quality. So I think he's dropped. So he's gonna dial back in.
Okay.
I want to hear that ISIS praying mantis thing.
I know. It sounded like he was going somewhere.
Yeah, really. Let me see if I can pull him up here. Now we're both probably calling each other. So.
Getting your lines crossed. Oh, Matt Becker.
Hello.
You're back.
Did that work?
Yeah, it worked.
That's amazing.
Your voice sounds real like tinny, but
Tinny.
do you have that headset on again?
Yeah, I had to because I was at the. We're remodeling the one of the bathrooms in the bar. Becky and I and a bunch.
The Wrecking Crew?
What they should have done is remodeled their Wi-Fi system first before we dialed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Well, I mean, I know exactly what's going on. He's trying to broadcast from Coots.
Yep.
Sawdust is not conducive to a good Wi-Fi signal.
No, definitely not. Well, I think the UPS guy just rang my doorbell. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay. Certified mail.
Oh yeah, is that good or bad?
I don't know. It's from the IRS, but it's not for me, so.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Good and bad, I guess. If it's for someone at the house.
I know. But, yeah. I'm sure it's good news from the IRS.
Yeah, I don't get much mail anymore. All our mail goes, like everyone's mail goes to one address out here because that's the only mailbox that everyone will look at. And we have a mailbox by the street that I don't think I've opened for 6 months.
But you probably have mail like going everywhere else over the country, so somebody's getting your mail.
Someone's getting it. Yeah.
Wow. Becker's name has a little like warning sign that I've never seen before.
On Skype?
On Skype, yeah. It just popped up. Then he left again.
Yeah. Yeah. All sorts of issues.
So they are not going to be opening an internet cafe at Coots anytime soon.
No, do you remember, were you active on the internet when all that was taking place in about 94, 95?
No.
There was a place downtown near the Snow City. Like when Snow City's got that one-way street, and then you take a left to head back towards Coots.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was two doors down from the corner there, heading back towards Coots. There was a guy who had like a pretty kick-ass, like old style house with like the upstairs, the roof kind of came in on the walls. So it was kind of A-frame up top, but it was, they had like some video game systems, internet connection, and everything was, you paid by the hour, or you paid, like a block fee, like nothing you would do today, maybe you do it like in the Philippines or something, but yeah, it was crazy that was a business model for a long time. I don't think the guy ever made money, but he had, a pretty expensive espresso machine. It's getting better.
It's kind of getting better.
Now he sounds like he's in fire, like in a fire pit.
He's struggling to open a candy bar wrapper. Maybe he is camping.
It is tough to open those Klondike bars because you're so excited. Yeah, you got to get an edge.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. No,
Hey.
so far the only thing I can tell is every time John acknowledges me, I disappear. So if you could just not make eye contact, John, that'd be great.
No problem.
Jesus. Okay.
Well, we'll see what we can do, Becker.
Yeah. So so life is good. So what other topics are we
You were comparing.
like-
You said should we make ISIS the face of praying mantis or?
Oh
vice
yeah,
versa?
because people have creeped out by praying mantis. You ever see them blown up? I had that one for a pet for about a year, and every time I put a picture, people go, "That's gross." I go, "That's my pet. That's like having an ugly baby." You're like,
Yeah.
"I don't care, it's mine." And then he died.
Do praying mantises need a mascot?
See, I think it would actually, wouldn't that be bad? Yeah, you associate them with ISIS, and then they're like, "We didn't do shit." No, like we didn't do shit. No, I mean you're just it's your father's crimes, I guess. I don't know.
What?
They used to always do that. They'd pass on whatever your family did. It'd be passed on to you. So
I think the praying mantis are bad enough that they wouldn't be helped by a face of ISIS.
no, that's it. That's like saying praying mantis now wearing Nikes. They're like, we already fucking kick ass. What
But
do
it's
you-
really just like the female praying mantises are the ones with the bad name, right? Because like
I don't know that
Well, they say that.
I've never seen a male that I know of.
everybody always just said, well, the females will bite the male's head off after sex, and everybody like at least men I think feel bad.
But guys in China are like, yeah, but you still get to have sex.
Yeah, exactly. There's no one not getting in line. They're all queuing up to get their heads eaten off.
Yeah. They're like, I mean, I know it sounds bad, but at least they die happy.
But it must be good if everyone's still doing it, so I'll get in line.
Yeah. What are we waiting for? I don't know. Just you're behind me. So Becker, what was the end up? What was the finish over in Vegas? You were there.
The end up?
Yeah.
The wrap up?
Yeah.
It was good. It was what was it? It was it was what was weird is we took a pretty good beating cash wise, and then the last day, Wednesday night, I guess it would have been for me because they stayed a little longer, but we went on the Terror, and at one point we took over at the Cromwell, which if you don't know where the Cromwell is, it's a little boutique casino. And if you don't know what boutique is, that means a bad idea in a recession. We took over one of their Pai Gow tables. There were some foreigner guys there, and there were 5 guys all sitting at the table. We were like, oh, the only good Pai Gow table's full. And then we realized one guy was playing and 5 guys were drunk. And we were like, hey, any chance we could sit out here? And they start politely asking these guys, and they're like Kiwis or whatever they are. I don't know what they are. They're like ISIS. I don't know what they are. They kick them out.
I think there's a difference between Kiwis and ISIS.
Were they?
I don't.
Perhaps were they praying mantis?
Not a world traveler. They look like praying mantis, but yeah, the casino was preying on them. But one guy playing and 5 guys sitting. I go, apparently you're killing them at the bar. I guess I don't know, but so we sit down and we're part of Harris at the rewards program, Total Rewards. So we give them our cards and they kind of honor it. This is the weird thing. It's like I think the Cromwell's in bankruptcy, so they kind of honor it, but they don't really acknowledge that they're part of it. So they take our cards. They have to manually enter them. They get them back, and then we're 5 players at the table. We're the full table, and we're playing Pai Gow. And if you know how Pai Gow works, it's a push game for the most part, unless you go on a bad streak or a good streak. And all of a sudden, we were all Alaskans at the Pai Gow table. And then we proceeded to go from that all the way up to I said, because we all bought in for 1,000. So then we go high-low a little bit, high-low a little bit. Then all of a sudden I go, hey, when do we raise our bets? And the guy in the end, who's one of our leader poker guys in town, he goes, now. And we all put 500 out on one hand to Pai Gow. Boom, we all hit. One guy hit a bonus. And then in 20 minutes, we made $11,000. And then I said, when do we cash out? He goes, now. And we all cashed out. And the pit boss was just rubbing his head going, oh, you sure you guys doing it? And we're like, no, we're good. Thank you, though. We love your hotel. From a distance. So guess what my first email was when I got home? Cromwell would love to have you back. Please send us in. Fill out the survey. We'll give you 3 nights free at the Cromwell. Please come back with our money, please.
I mean, you guys all like win to varying degrees and then push back from the table to cash in. It sounds like an episode of like a planned out scene for Rounders or that one of those.
No, it was great.
Poker movies.
Well, the thing is we play for about 20 minutes early on after the 1,000 buy-in each. 1,000, and we're high-low. I mean, some guys are getting dinged, some aren't. One guy was down to 100 left. He put 50 on one, 50 on the bonus, got the bonus, so put him back at 500 because he hit a bonus for fucking 4. Anyway, so the point is that we didn't look like we knew what we were doing at first, and then all of a sudden, boom, it looked like we might know what we're doing, and then the dealer kept busting, and the pit boss is now rubbing his hair like it's already receded back, but now it's going farther because he keeps rubbing it, and he needs to get one of those hair visors so it looks like his hair stays consistent during the night, and but the best part was when this guy, and it looked planned completely. A tourist walks through, clearly wearing Bermuda shorts and a camera hanging off him, and he comes walking through, and we're the only table on this side, right? So everything else is closed up, and we're just that table, and we're now closed out. And they're giving us purple chips, which are 1,000, and they put them out. And this tourist walks by, and he literally sticks his head on the table while the pit boss is overseeing our payout, and goes, "What are the purples worth?" And the dealer goes, 1,000. And the guy goes, wow, they really kicked your ass. But you couldn't have set it up. I was like, why aren't we filming this? Oh, yeah, because you can't film in a casino. I can film in a men's room, but I can't film in a casino. How weird is that?
I'm sure they were filming.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, they're watching those tapes over and over.
Is that posted anywhere that you can't film in the casino?
Yeah, it actually is.
You'd never know, John, but there's a list of rules that you basically are agreeing to when you walk in the joint, and somewhere on the back of one pillar at the left or the right of when you enter the main entrance, there'll be some kind of a plaque that basically details all the fine points of Nevada gaming laws. But you'd have to look for it. You know, an employee might not even know where it's at. Everything's posted, but, you know, they don't want to take away from the windowless decor.
Well, let's not forget that I once got in a blowout over using chewing tobacco at the table at the Flamingo of all places, which is my home court advantage. And And they said, well, you can't chew at the table. I goes, well, it doesn't say that on your list of fucking no lifeguard on duty rules.
No diving.
And the guy goes, well, we can't put everything up there. It goes, it doesn't say you can't bring a gun in the casino, but you clearly can. I go, did you just tell me you can bring a gun in the casino? And cut to the hijinks of me being drunk and him being anal retentive in a Christian youth, I think from Utah. And he's like, no more cocktails for this gentleman. I go, well, can I still chew then? And he goes, no, you can't chew. I go, so I can't have alcohol, tobacco in Las Vegas? Is that way? I go, next year you're going to be on hookers. And then, we got in a blowout, and the next dealer came in and let me do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, that's kind of your when you get Becker, when you get there, it's like, don't fuck with Becker, because you're there for a reason, and you're going to do what you're going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I literally don't.
There's no winning that's an argument with Becker.
Well, it's like
no, there is if we're both on the same side.
Sir, it looks like you've won. I agree. That's what but I mean, you're not one of these like sloppy drunk guys that's like dribbling and like spittle is going down onto the felt. I mean, you're taking care of your shit. This guy decided to fucking step up to you. Either he didn't like the way you looked, or maybe he didn't like tobacco use. But yeah, that it seems like when you're handling your shit with a spit cup, which I've grabbed one of those at one of your house parties and almost took a drink.
Yeah. But again, that's my house party.
Yeah.
At this particular one, I use a coffee cup and I throw it away when I'm done.
Yeah.
It never leaves my sight. I treat it like my mother's ashes, and she's not even dead.
You've already reduced your mother to ashes, but she's still alive?
No, I'm saying when it happens, I will treat them with the same respect that I would have. I mean, it's not some Starbucks thermos bottle. I forget where the lid went. No, I take care of my things.
It seems like you could there's a market there, Becker. Somehow creating a dip cup that was clearly visible from 100 yards.
Urn?
Well, yeah, a spit urn. There you go, a dip urn.
Spit urn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I like it.
The Big Dipper. The Big Dipper.
Make it very ornate. Maybe take a pottery class, get it glazed.
Yeah.
Do it right. It's got to look good.
In loving memory,
I was
But yeah.
I was at there's a little thrift store that opens up here. It's like a tag sale place that's open only on Saturdays. And so sometimes they get a lot of stuff that like, it looks like it belongs in someone's house. Not like someone was getting rid of it or like it went to a donations box, but it's like someone's like, hey, what do you think you get for this? Well, they were on this one table. There was a fucking old time saloon or a saloon Spittoon. I fucking loved it, but they wanted too much money for it. I mean, what do you think a Spittoon goes for?
I don't know. If it's used, it's worth a lot more.
I remember growing up, my grandpa in his house, he had it was like a brass spittoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the kind in the old West movies.
I know. Do you realize we went from that? That was amazing, wasn't it? They literally had them, and you just go blink, tink.
Yeah, but this one, it was almost like this was a novelty one that you sent someone flowers, and this was the vase that came with it, because it didn't look big enough. It's like if you figuring if people are spitting in that general area, you'd make it a little larger. I know you've got it flares out at the top to where you can get a rim shot and still get it in there, and that's what makes the noise. But it just seems like it should be bigger, like a bucket, like a Home Depot bucket.
Well,
yeah.
To be honest, Greg, in my youthful days, I went to the antique store and I bought a spittoon, and I thought I'd cornered the market. And I was quite proud of myself for the price I got and everything else. And it turned out it was a bedpan. But
you never missed.
But it works. Splatter matters.
It should be that big.
Yeah.
You would think, right? They wanted $35 for this novelty Spittoon.
Yeah, was it chromey looking and antique looking?
Oh, it looked antique. There was a patina on it, and there was. I guess if I wouldn't have seen the price tag at first, I probably would have done a little bit more inspection on it.
You're down in the part of the country, Greg, where there's two forms of bootleg.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about spittoons. Like, I know it's got to be inconvenient to carry a cup around, but is it equally as inconvenient to like walk to the corner of a room to spit? Unless you really have some good aim.
Well, see, they didn't let women first in saloons. So first, there was no fucking putting on airs. And you didn't have to worry about being killed by ISIS. And but the thing is, they used to have spittoons at the corners of all the bars. So you'd have one there, one there, one there, and that was the corner spot.
On the ground.
And I think that's originally how they kept the servers well open. They put a spittoon on the bar, and people go, ugh, and they go, perfect, cocktail order.
But how accurate? That must have been like just the it must have looked like a shooting range or like a archery range where there's just there's holes everywhere except on the target.
I would almost guarantee you there was a part of it that is in other words, you're judged on your accuracy. I bet those guys were fucking good by the time. I mean, think about it. There was nothing to do. I mean, most people chewed tobacco because they couldn't make fire.
Yeah.
So they just went, all right, I'll just do this.
Wait, did they not have matches?
No, it was the West, John.
They didn't have matches in the West?
Well, no, they didn't.
I mean,
for a long time, they didn't have matches. There was a way to make fire, but it was using liquid.
Flint.
As well,
Flint.
that.
So,
but the first match when it came along was pretty revolutionary. And the match that of, the Strike Anywhere, that wasn't the first idea that came up. It used to be a little pouch that had some liquid, and it would get hot, and then it would flame up, and that didn't. I mean, and keeping that in your pocket wasn't always the best idea.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even if you watch like It's a Wonderful Life, I mean, the way they start the fire is they take kids' pajamas, rub them together, and throw them in, and fire starts. But other than that, they had no way to really stay warm.
The things you take for granted nowadays.
Yeah.
I can pull up a video of a fireplace on my phone, and just not the same, but kind of similar.
I was just reading. This is weird. I was just reading about this. Women were hired to work at the matchstick works, like the place where they actually had the matchsticks and then they dipped them, and the women would be licking their fingers to get a grip, a purchase on the stick, to dip it in the chemicals, right? And they didn't realize it, but what they were doing was they were transferring phosphorus to their mouth over a period of time, and they would end up getting phosphorus poisoning, which they called Phossy jaw. And
old Phossy jaw.
Phossy jaw. Basically, what happens is, I mean, like you lick your finger to turn a page, right? Which that could be gross on certain levels, depending on if you in a bathroom magazine rack or something. But they would be licking their fingers all day long, and grinding out, it's the 1800s, so they're grinding out the numbers to try and keep the matches going. And they would start to get headaches and some of the things associated early on, but no one figured what it was. And then they would start to, their gum line would start to recede. And then it would, because of the phosphorus poisoning, it would recede so far that you would see bone below where the tooth like anchors into the jawbone. And then they would die.
That was it.
Then they would die.
That was a tell that there was something wrong.
But they didn't know.
Phossy jaw, not as fun as it sounds.
No.
Well, the irony is you could only tell that their gum line had receded that far with light. Hey, light another match. There's something going on there. That's amazing. See, Greg, you always have the best. People always go, it's so obscure. I go, I don't care. That fascinates me more than somebody knowing fucking the Raiders game.
I think more people probably know that story than what happened in the Raiders game this weekend.
The thing that's odd is that back then you were fired for not keeping up because basically your jaw was aching so much. You had these headaches and these fucking, just basically you're slowly poisoning yourself by being at work. And then you get laid off from the job that once you get laid off, you could possibly get better if you get laid off soon enough.
Oh, is your Phossy jaw acting up? I'll just smoke a Lucky Strike cigarette while you're working on the factory line. Take care of that. So
yeah, good old Phossy jaw.
Yeah, I can imagine like working at a match factory would be terrifying. Do you guys ever do a thing where you like cut the heads or break the heads off of a bunch of matches and put it in a ping pong ball?
No, this sounds good.
We did close to that. We did that where you take C4 and you put it with...
Whoa. You just jumped the rail there.
Up.
Yeah.
One step up. But you pack a like a ping pong ball, or we did it with a tennis ball once. You just cut a slit in the ball and you put all the match heads into it, and then you throw it up in the air, and when it hits the ground, they all shake and they'll light off each other and blow up.
Oh, they're the matches, the strike anywheres with the white tip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. A little bit of science there. I kind of like that one.
Yep.
I don't believe.
I remember when we were kids, I was probably 6 or 7, and we had a neighbor who would get a can of tennis balls and empty the can, and then take a, do you know what a church key is, John?
Yeah, for opening beer.
Yeah, it's like the pointy thing that opens up, like opening a can of pineapple juice. You gotta like make a small hole on one side, and then across from that you make the bigger hole and you can pour it out. So a church key was a pretty common thing, and you would use that church key to make one small hole in the bottom of the can on the side.
Then you stick your penis in that tiny hole?
You try to, but then after that,
you try to.
After that, we would give it back to him, and he would put one single tennis ball into the can, and he started laying it just flat on the ground so it's horizontal, and then we would pour a lighter fluid. And mind you, there's nobody over 8 years old except for the adult doing this. And we're all watching this guy. I mean, don't play with fire. Fire's not a toy. Stay away. Fire danger. And then now
watch this cool shit.
Now check this out. And then, he would let his son light it, but it would be the fumes that would get that thing going, and it would just whoosh. And then we would all run after this flaming tennis ball to get it. And I remember it being hot and smelling like burnt hair, bringing it back. And then he started doing them vertical. That was pretty badass. I do remember that. So, science is fun.
Yeah, no, we did the rockets. We did the little rockets. Remember when you built a little rocket from Estes?
From what? Oh, model rockets. Estes
and
model
the
rockets.
brand was Estes, whatever, science. And we got that. And then we realized you didn't need to build a rocket. You can just shoot those things. You don't need to fucking waste all the time building a stupid rocket, gluing fins on. We just light those off and shoot them in the neighborhood. Crazy.
But, I mean, wouldn't you try to stabilize it somehow so it would go in one direction? Because it's basically...
I guess if you were a science guy, yeah.
It's basically a ground bloom flower
but
without the colors.
It's the randomness of it. You just fly. Just don't put the fins on it. Let it fly everywhere. It might hit you. It might hit somebody else.
You know what I realize now? That's the reason we had all those parachutes left over, because we didn't build the rockets. And then we used those to throw the G.I. Joes in the air, and then the parachute wouldn't open, and you would see why you shouldn't join the military, because it was amazing how many times our G.I. Joes lost their arms in parachuting accidents.
Boy, I haven't heard of a rocketeering story in a while. And,
no, remember that?
Bingo it was Bingo's birthday last week, and someone gave her a model rocket kit. And I'm like, what the? Do you even know Bingo? What's with the model rocket kit? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're fun, but there's a lot of work involved.
No, that's what I said. It's a ton, and then
it's probably less work now than like you remember when you were a kid, because now you're used to doing just like repetitive tasks all day for work, and it sucks. But then you're just like, you went from like watching cartoons or playing baseball or whatever kids do to like having to sit there and read instructions and like glue tiny parts together. The worst, but it probably took like 10 minutes.
Well, remember, because you'd have an X-Acto knife, and you're like, and you start whittling, and then it would be wrong, so you make it smaller and smaller and smaller, and pretty soon you're like, is there more balsa wood? But yeah, it's tennis ball cannons too. We were always fascinated with those, and I watched one blow up one time. The guy put tons of fluid in, the tennis ball was shoved in sideways, and somehow had debris from the yard in it, and he would lit it, and boom, it blew. And I was like,
yeah.
I never thought of that.
It has to clear the barrel.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I saw it.
There's always, whenever you enter into any one of these fun activities, there's always that desire to push it to the limit, to just a little bit more fluid, just a little bit more gap there for a little bit more vapor. Yeah, that's.
See what they did? I watched it as I grew up. They dummied down science where all of a sudden the next generation, like from us, because we did rockets and all the gas-powered, those Bajas and the planes, gas-powered planes. Do you realize that? Put Cox racing gas, you get it? It's flying 90 miles an hour. You're swinging on a piece of fish line.
Well, that's right. When you go in circles. Yeah.
I mean, while they're watching lawn darts, we're busy cutting their heads off like high. That was the whole game. And then the next generation, they got fucking volcanoes with vinegar and baking soda. That's
another thing Bingo got. It was a volcano project where it.
All right, we're starting to think you're just copying.
No, I'm serious. I'm like, what are they? First of all, she has no interest in this stuff, and I'm like, but there's such random fucking things, and they all have to do with fire. Yeah, I don't get it.
Wow.
The volcano doesn't have any fire going on.
This one does. Yeah, this one looks like, this one is a thing where you set it down in some kind of a earthenware or something, and then you light it.
Oh, score.
Yeah.
I remember for one of those school projects, I was just going to take a road flare, drop it in my paper mache volcano, and it would spew out red volcano, and the sulfur comes out the top. And I went, this is brilliant. The teacher goes, yeah, you can't do that.
Easy A.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I mean, if you're not letting me do my project.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't do the work, or you pretended like you did the work.
Oh, it taught everybody. Volcanoes are dangerous. Oh, did you see that one volcano go off in Ecuador? Last time it went off, 187 years ago.
Oh, wow. So it just went off?
Yeah. And it's very populated by there. I guess 187 years, you start feeling more and more relaxed. It's some Ecuador name. I don't know.
Some Ecuador name?
the fighting Irish. The fighting Irish. I don't know.
So you had Flip Schultz out there last week?
Yes, he was.
How'd it go?
He did good. The temperature could have been a little warmer. It was hard to get people to come out early because it was just so cold. I mean, we were having 3s and 9s and 6s and 1s. I mean, it looked like baseball scores.
it is awful. It's supposed to get better tomorrow, but then it's supposed to snow.
Yeah.
Cannot win in this place.
Yeah. Have you figured out where you're going yet, John? You gonna take off?
We're still planning. We think we're looking at Hawaii.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, so nothing new yet. Just the weather is.
You haven't done anything to research at all.
I don't want to do too much research. I don't want to spoil the surprise. I just want to go not knowing what I'm going to get into.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we've got.
It's the Cotopaxi volcano, by the way.
Which one?
That's how you say
in
it.
Ecuador?
In Ecuador.
How many people died?
All. It doesn't say how many people died. I don't know if anybody died.
No, they might not. The snow. It was snow. It's just snow covered, and all of a sudden the snow cap disappeared, and they went, "This might be bad," and then plumes started coming out, and now they're afraid that might be the precursor to the blow. And if we remember right, the big chill, that's what happened was the volcanoes, all these volcanoes went off in a row, and they basically block out the radioactive heat from the earth, and that could cause the earth to cool down up to 5 degrees.
Wait, I thought, was it the volcanoes?
Astronomical problem.
I thought like a meteor hit the.
No, you're thinking of a movie. Yeah, no, this is and the thing is, they connected that with the plague because they had extreme winters in Europe, which it never had, and then all of a sudden all these different things. The only thing that's funny about this, if global warming is real and we really did heat up the planet by about 3 degrees, the big chill will actually be offset by the fact we fucked the planet up. We're going to be 2 degrees different. We're going to be in the safe zone.
Could we be that lucky, though? I know humans are already pretty lucky just to be where we are, evolutionary speaking, but like that would be an extreme stroke of luck.
But it really is scientifically possible that we could actually fuck up the Earth enough to make it safe. And no one's talking about it. No one's saying a word.
Possible and likely are very different, though.
You ever notice those stories that just float through going, in 2018, a meteor is going to come within blah, blah, blah of Earth. And then you never read the article again. You're like, whatever happened with that meteor thing?
That came close.
Well, we don't know yet. It's always in the future it's going to happen, and they just never talk about it again.
Well, everybody that tries to put a specific date on things are the people that are saying the world's going to end in like March, and then it doesn't, and they're like,
Yeah, see, that's why you want to always stay vague on that. The world is going to end.
Hard to make a second guess. After you blow the first one, nobody's going to listen anymore.
People are less likely to listen the second time.
But you see these billionaires, billionaires are making bunkers. They're making these massive bunkers that now I saw one has a power plant, ventilation, food for up to 5 years, and all this stuff, just in case. And I went, yeah, but if you're a billionaire, you made all your money exploiting the population.
Yeah, I don't think those bunkers are to protect them from like some catastrophe of like natural. I think it's to protect them from a poor people that are going to rise up and try to murder them. That's where they're going to hide out.
Yeah, but the point is they're going to open the bunker going, all right, let's get back to this. Anybody need a cell phone? Anybody need unlimited cell phone service? And they're like, I don't know how you made your money before, but it's not going to work again.
I don't know. Nobody died in Ecuador, guys.
Becca, I'm looking at the Coots calendar. You got Glenn Wool coming up in December?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Very nice. That is one to catch. He's been over in Europe and
in Cambodia.
Oh, really?
He went over, did two sold out shows in Cambodia.
Yeah, he's one to catch. It's been a little while since he's been up there too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever seen his the Glenn Wool show?
The what?
He had like there's a couple episodes of like the Glenn Wool show that he had in like Canada. I think it was Canada. Maybe it was the UK.
Well, he spent like about 10 years in the UK straight, and he was coming back every once in a while, but he was doing a ton of comedy over there, and it would seem like that would be a place.
I swear to God, he had like a sitcom, and it was
a sitcom.
There used to be, yeah.
You're not thinking of Tom Rhodes, are you?
No, there was a couple episodes on YouTube like a long time ago. They were freaking hilarious.
And it was called the Glenn Wool Show.
I think so. I guess I'm gonna ask him because I can't find it. This was real. This is a real thing.
Well, Google doesn't agree with you, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, or maybe you thought it happened.
Maybe I tried. Maybe I did. Be a weird thing to dream, but
yeah. I mean, he could probably handle the show. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he played because it was like a kind of a Seinfeld thing, but with a lot more denim.
Oh, I could see that. You know,
he was playing a comedian. That's why I think it was Canadian.
Yeah, maybe it was Canadian.
I think you might have just hit on it. I believe you now that you said a lot more.
Yeah, that was enough right there. That was enough to throw me into. Well, anyway, it's December 15th to the 20th. Definitely worth getting into one of those shows at
Yes, we're going to push that quite heavily.
Yeah, you guys are busy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. And like I said, the Burlesque show was fantastic. It was nothing but rave reviews. So good job.
I did what I could, you know?
No, I understand. No, I wasn't really saying about your promo video. I was saying the actual show. It was weird because I actually enjoyed it more because there wasn't all that stuff on the screen. Yeah.
Well, I felt like something was lacking, and it was probably the battery power.
Yeah.
Audio meters.
Technical awareness. It's just not enough appreciation for the technical side of what's happening there.
I'm trying to get everybody to use like Google Glass or Google Cardboard so they can look at it through their phone, and it will show all of the mistakes I added into the show.
Did you say Google Cardboard?
Yeah, that's like the new thing.
What's the like?
It's like it looks like those old like Fisher Price viewfinders.
Yeah,
but it's made out of cardboard, and you put your phone in it, and it creates like a kind of virtual room type situation.
Like it gives you a 3D effect because it does the split screen like they did with what were they called? Panorams?
You're talking about
the old
Viewmaster, the
with the cards.
Yeah, the Viewmaster, where it was a cylinder, or not a cylinder, it was a circle that had basically little tiny negatives.
Yeah.
Negatives when people used to get film developed.
Yeah. They actually stole that from the Panoram from the 1900s, it had two magnifying glasses in it. They dropped two of the same picture in different reverse order. In other words, the The exposure was backwards, and then it gives you a 3D effect.
And technically, the Panoram stole that design from God because he gave us 2 eyes to see things in 3 dimensions.
But here's the deal. He didn't give everybody 2 eyes. So some people were really good at telescopes, and some people aren't.
That's what makes life great.
There was a secondary market for the single lens Viewmaster for Cyclops.
Yeah.
It never really took off, but I mean, they were very aware of that potential.
No, but how'd you like to be making these 3D headsets? They're going 3D headsets, and they're like $700, and you stick your phone in, and then now they're putting out, because I was just at one of those Venture gift stores in Vegas, and $39. It's a plastic one. You stick your phone in, and it does it.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, it's a hard sell to get me to spend $700 when I can do the same thing for $40.
Yeah, and the thing, well, even like they're like $10, or you can do it for free if you want to take the time to like get your X-Acto knife out from your rocket model kit, cut some cardboard. I just don't think like virtual reality is going to be the future because nobody wants to wear shit on their head.
No, but they're getting rid of that. They have 3D now, 3D TVs that will actually play without the glasses. They haven't gotten to the point where you'll be willing to pay $25,000.
The cool thing with like these virtual reality headsets is like you can like look around a room, and they have like these interactive like movies where you're like in the horror movie and you're looking around and like you're like moving through like an asylum, or like at least it makes you like feel like you're moving through asylum, but you're just standing there with like a pair of goggles on. But like even nobody wants to wear anything on their head, so it's fun for like 5 minutes and you're like, this shit's uncomfortable.
Well, you know, the funny thing is when they first came out with 3D, remember, because 3D at home, it requires 2 channels. That's why it screwed them on you have to have 2 channels to make 3D. So they did it. But then the number 2 thing was, how much TV do you want to watch in 3D? Do you want to watch the news in 3D?
Yes.
No. Do you want to watch, they realized that 3D content is very limited to only a few specific things. And the one that really has done the most 3D work is the 700 Club.
What do they do?
Apparently tax-free fucking 3D.
What?
But yeah, they're the most.
I've never watched the 700 Club for more than like 30 seconds to figure out what
it's
it
a
was.
religious channel.
Yeah, it's so.
But what kind of isn't it just people like talking on a stage? Or
well,
like,
think about. Hold on, John. Now think about this. I mean, look at the history of 3D. You've got the old Vincent Price, like House of Wax and stuff like that, where like you can always tell it's 3D even if you don't know that it's 3D in advance. If you go in and then someone's chucking a spear like right at you, pointing it and like moving it into your field of vision, And maybe that's they're taking a page out of that. And 700 Club, when they're doing their healings, maybe that perspective where they're healing right into you, right at the screen.
That makes me want to send my money in.
Plenty of opportunity there to exploit the 3D aspect. It is interesting. I see the Google Cardboard is going for $3, $4.
Yeah, you get the cardboard one, and if you were a New York Times subscriber, they just sent you a free one this last weekend.
Or if you know where they have the New York Times, you just open open it and take it out.
And you can start selling them yourself.
You can't really charge you with stealing it because it's free.
It's very similar to the stereoscope, which is what you were talking about before, Becker, with the 2 pictures, and you would kind of move it forward or back to kind of bring it into focus, and you had 2 lenses, and those were back in the day. Those were old timey, and these look kind of like that.
I had found Christmas cards years ago that were those, and you put it together, you popped it open, and you looked and it said "Merry Christmas" from whoever, and there you go. And that was the Christmas card. And I sent it, and my mom goes, "Yeah, I didn't understand it. I just threw it away." And I was like, "It was a 3D Christmas card." She goes, "Well, I don't understand that newfangled stuff." I go, "It's from the 1800s. What do you?
Oh.
It's not fucking newfangled, Mom."
Just relax your eyes and step back slowly.
I had to pay extra postage.
I couldn't figure it out.
But I threw it away.
Well, there's a bunch of apps, so I'm definitely going to have to take a look at this. The Google Cardboard apps for iPhone.
You know what was really cool is I had an app, and I don't know which one. This is the problem with hoarding apps, and I don't have that many. I just have enough. But one of them, I actually would take my pictures and make them 3D. And if you wore the glasses, you could see it. It converted the picture to 3D.
Wow,
So I was going to do a thing in the birdhouse where I had a separate little monitor where you wear 3D glasses, and then the boobs would come right at you. And so I made like 4 pictures. I have them in my file. I don't know how I made them. I don't know what program did 3D.
Oh. So
I've been going through going, which one did it?
See, that's really where this technology is going to shine.
Oh yeah.
Porn is basically the only reason any technology like progresses. So.
Sex not only sells, it drives the industry. I mean, it drives the internet industry.
It's an up and coming technology.
Well, just so anyone who may never have been to the birdhouse who doesn't know, Becker has a montage slideshow running the whole time of fun times in the birdhouse. So yeah, 3D would be pretty fucking kick-ass back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just, it's just one of those things. I'm going to do it, but now I have to figure out which program did it.
Well, it sounds like,
you have to start a separate slideshow so that at some point it just like changes to put on your 3D glasses now. And then everybody at the bar can put them on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's get drinks before the show.
Here we are. We're right back to Penny Arcade. Now you get one of them Penny Arcade machines and you just you crank it.
Yeah, it's like the train is coming right at me.
Look at those two Lindy Hop. Wow.
My favorite is man sneezing. That's probably my favorite.
I've seen that actually.
I actually got a DVD from the library that was all like Thomas Edison's like short films, and they were all seriously like man sneezing, couple kissing, that was a hot one.
Oh yeah.
And then there was one that was just a dude flexing for like 30 seconds.
Not
really even a particularly like impressive
Atlas
specimen.
Like one of these a guy who kicks sand in the face of kids at the beach.
No, not even like that. It was just like a normal guy. Just like, hey,
like an
Jeff,
insurance salesman.
Get in front of the camera, Jeff. He's like, I don't really want to. Like, you were just telling us you started working out. Get in front of the camera.
Now catch this medicine ball.
Look at him sweating already. This is going to be a real short film.
Yeah, I guess you can find all that stuff on YouTube. It's crazy like I was just thinking the other day because I was grabbing some royalty-free music for another podcast, and I was thinking about how like people are like so love that they have something that they spend the time and effort to put it out there. You know, like there'll be like 6 hours of fucking Christmas music. Someone has to fucking digitize that and fucking put it up.
Yeah. And
people love it. I mean, it's not like, well, I guess I'm doing the same thing with the podcasting, but I guess I do.
All of our listeners are like, who would put out all of this garbage? Just after an hour of garbage. Mm-hmm. One man's garbage podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
Is another person's weekday commute.
You know what, though? I've loved Christmas music forever, and I listen to it. Like this time of year, I start plopping it on just to get out of the whole depression of winter. And when you find a new Christmas song, it's like amazing. I mean, that you like.
Like
There's
what?
Tons that
like what's the newest Christmas song that you've come across?
Oh, I got one. It's basically Santa smokes weed.
What?
It's lightly done. I think it's by one of those big band ones. But yeah, he's all hopped up.
Wait a minute, are these are novelty songs like Spike Jones or something?
Yeah, but it's they're newer. Some are older. Some were like old folk ones, and they're just we've all been bled to death by mommy kissing Santa Claus.
And, but like Dr. Demento, he'll have like a whole episode. I mean, Dr. Demento, I'll put a link in there. I don't know if I have to explain it, but he had novelty songs and weird, crazy songs that he would play on Sunday nights from like 9 to 10, I think it was. And that was across the country. So, I mean, those things have been around, before then. They went all the way back with like I said, Spike Jones and stuff. Are you talking new discoveries of old songs or like new songs? Because I don't think Justin Bieber's doing a parody of a Christmas.
No,
he should.
These are new songs that they basically take the old style and then they kind of regroup them. And this one was basically they're blowing the smoke to the chimney.
So they talk about topical things like weed legalization.
Well, they don't talk about being legal. They just talk about blowing the smoke to the chimney and the reindeer on the roof, and they get high as kites, and then boom. Next thing you know, they're fucking looking for cookies all over the world.
So what is this, like Gary Mule Deer or something?
No. It's more. It's like take like Cherry Poppin' Daddies kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
You should do a parody of that parody, but instead of weed, they're smoking spice and blowing it up the chimney, and that's how Santa gets to every house in the world in one night.
Yeah, and that was kind of their angle, was to go, this is impossible.
He takes his clothes off in a subway and destroys it.
And then eats the face off of one of the reindeers.
Completely. Yeah, I mean,
that'd be a spicy Christmas.
Yeah, see, there you go. Sugar and spice.
Spicy Christmas.
Yeah.
How did you guys find out about Santa Claus? Anyone got a story there?
I think I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 and figured it out. I don't know, because my mom didn't marry my stepdad until I was like 8. I think I was 8. And so all of my family would get me presents, and they would put Santa Claus on. They'd write like from Santa Claus on them, but they didn't really communicate what they were getting me. So sometimes I would get so Santa Claus would give me 2 of the same thing.
Oh, okay.
And it would just be like, well, why would he do that?
Yeah.
Doesn't he know what he wrapped one and then the other?
I appreciate it, but he should know. So I started figuring it out, and then, but not like all the way because I wanted to keep the magic. And then I think my stepdad was just like, there's no Santa Claus, right? And I was like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Honeymoon's over.
I completely know.
There is a point where you were pretty with it because you realized, hey, don't fuck up this free lunch. If I dig too much, maybe I don't want the truth.
Yeah, I was happy. I was very content with the lie.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Like I didn't trust my parents to get me great stuff. I trusted the illusion of Santa Claus to get me great stuff, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not that dramatic. Not that dramatic of a story, but
not that much.
I'm sure it hasn't jaded me at all.
I had brothers and sisters, so it was like one of those things where they obviously knew, but they were like, and to keep a secret, I mean, they never said a word, but I was a light sleeper, so that's what really did it. My parents used to do it was really funny because we were twins, so we had to share a room, and like being in solitary with another person. And they would hang a hanger on the door. So if you opened the door, the hanger would fall and hit the wood floors, and bam, they could tell you got up.
Yeah.
Which was clever. And but then we learned to take a pillow and shoot a pillow out as soon as you open the door, and the hanger would fall on the pillow. And that's, I think, how I found out was learning to escape out of cell block 7.
That just sounds stressful.
No, but I just remember how tired when I found out then when it all came together, I couldn't believe how tired my parents were every morning. I go, this guy delivered toys all over the world and you guys are exhausted.
Yeah, you went to bed. This guy, he's not even home yet.
Why are you guys so lazy?
Mm-hmm. See, my parents went through the first generation of when they sent you toys and you had to put them all together. And, but the instructions were vague and in Japanese. And I just remember my dad going, I'm pretty good at this. I build cranes and shit, but this is crazy. Here's what it's supposed to do. And he'd just give it to us and go here.
It's part of the fun. Figure it out. Crying over a half-built erector set.
I got you a bike, but it turns out it's just a unicycle.
One of my favorite Christmas experiences, though, is when I was older. My mom, we always had dogs and stuff, and my mom bought me it was like Rex the Amazing or something, and he was a little dog, like not a Saint Bernard, but a German Shepherd. It was a toy, and it came with all these accessories, like he had a backpack and a zip line, and she bought it for me. But I was like 13 or 14. And she goes, I got this for you. And I open it, and I look at it, and she goes, I know you're really old for it, but I thought you'd appreciate it. And it was a dog, so I thought it was just that awkwardness of, Mom, I'm way too old for this. But she was so excited, I was excited. I played with that thing for years.
Well, she obviously, she'd been promising you a dog for years. Maybe
No,
this
but
was the closest way to get to it.
I realize the letdown when you have kids. You go, oh, he got older, but I still want to buy him this. And she was here.
It's probably one of those things like she just wanted it, but
she said, I don't have any. The grandkids were all, the other people that had kids, they were too young for it. And I was obviously too old, but she just wanted to get that. And she goes, well, there's nobody, I'll give it to you. So I took it as more of a compliment. I was like, thanks. But it was a weird gift. I always remember that as the weirdest gift. I was like, thanks. And I had to go, yay.
Also,
for 8 and up. Yeah.
Also, here's a blouse that would look great on me, but I got it for you. If you don't want it, I'll just use it.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but different.
Matt's walking his toy dog before he goes to prom.
I'm wearing my silk kimono out in the yard with my dog at 13.
Yeah, my parents were also extremely, they were very into it, and that showed in that they definitely went out of their way to get one big present for each of the 4 kids, or they tried to, and then they spent all night putting it up. And I remember my parents telling us later, when we used to talk about back when we were kids, how there were many Christmases where they would just get finished, crawl into bed, and we would come bursting through the door. He was here. Wake them up, and then they would have to, basically just get right back up and then go out, make some coffee and some waffles, and watch us break the shit that they spent hours making.
Yeah, I remember the Jump in the Shark episode too. That was when my parents bought, because we're twins, right?
Yeah.
And that's a tricky one, no matter how you do it. Other than the twin born on Christmas, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Because you're getting gifts, and you can clearly tell that you got us one gift, but you're claiming it's for 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And the year they bought us a stereo, and then my brother got the speakers. And we're like, why don't you just sign us up for Fight Club? This would be a lot easier. Because we just completely fought this, like, ever since they got them for us.
Hey, can I use your speaker?
I'm listening
stereo?
to it. No, I'm listening to it. No, I'm listening to it. No, I'm listening to it.
I know it's easy to Monday morning quarterback this, but maybe they should have given each of you a speaker, and then your brother gets AM and you get FM.
Yeah. It was brutal, and it was, we were at the right age to just fight about everything, so it was good.
I mean, I didn't ever suspect until my parents said something, and I don't even know what. I certainly was probably way too old. It was probably a thing of like, man, we got to tell them because this is just getting awkward. But I remember one year that I was so fucking nervous because I wanted air hockey, like the portable air hockey. It's probably about 4.5 feet long, and I was so fucking nervous about not getting it that at about 7:00 on Christmas Eve, there was a knock at the door, and we run to the door and open it, and there's a note that Santa said it was taking too much room in the sleigh, so he dropped it off early. He'll be back with the rest. And then no way! I'm stoked, and we're all playing air hockey. And then I found out my parents were so afraid I was going to hyperventilate and actually get hurt that they decided to go out in the garage and give me the present early.
Man, you were.
But it's like, what kind of a spaz fucking asshole kid was I that they were like, keeping me away from the coffee table because I might fall down and crack my head open because I'm hyperventilating because I might not get air hockey. Which
and just like every day starting in like June, you'd be like, man, I could really use that air hockey table. Hope Santa brings me that air hockey table.
They knew, and then 6 months later, we're using it to fucking store boxes and, the motor doesn't work. I've disassembled it. Yeah.
Oh, do you remember when the little football game with the little dots? Do you ever remember that?
Oh, the Coleco and the Mattel? Yeah.
Yeah, the football one. And we went and looked at it. And they had the race car one where you just moved the thing back and forth like Bad Frogger. And then they had the football. And I wanted the football. And I saw it and I was like, I want that. And my parents were like, yeah, no, you're not getting that, whatever. And they did the classic where at the end, after everything had been open, they went, oh, we're all done. And we're all sitting there. And how was it? Is it great? Everything's great. And then they go, oh, wait, I think there's one more. And then they gave it to me late. And it was like, yes. It was the best. made up for the dog I was still playing with from 2 years before. I played with that game. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one with the 6 buttons. You go up, down, and forward, and then, yeah.
Yep. And it took me about 36 hours to figure it all out, and then I could beat it. And then, I was two 9-volt batteries in, and I was bored with it. But it was still amazing. It was just the perfect. If you have kids, that's exactly how you do it. You just find that one thing, that 1 year, and they'll love you forever. I was like, that was amazing, because I thought I wasn't getting it. I went, you know what? I'll be cool about it. No big deal. So what?
Maybe.
And then they went, you got it.
Did that make up for the Rex the Amazing Dog?
No, and that was it. But I was cool about that too. I was like, I get it. I just looked at my mom going, I'm old enough to understand what you're going through.
I'm gonna do that someday, and then right after I give my kid the toy, and he's all excited. Like, okay, well now I'm going to jail for 10 years, so enjoy that.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy this, because I robbed a bank for this.
I just wanted to leave on a high note.
But those are the memories that you get where you go, I get it. I remember the Rex thing, and I remember that, and I just remember always it was a fun time. It was good.
Man, I need to do some. I don't have any memories like that. I'm sure there were great Christmases. Man, I'm a real dick. I just forget everything immediately.
Yeah, I'm trying to piece together one other. I remember the time I was going to hyperventilate, but I only remember that because my parents told me. I don't remember it because it was a traumatic time. I'm trying to remember something else that I got that. Man, what an asshole I am. My parents fucking worked their asses off in the 70s, and I can't remember, one other thing. And I'm sure I had to have it. Okay. Planet of the Apes Treehouse action figure set. I remember that.
Well, the other thing is 5 kids, 5 kids is a nightmare.
Yeah. You get lost in the shuffle there. Where were you in the pecking order there, Becker?
Oh, we were the end. We were the bottom. So that was perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. So everything got nicer as the years went. And that's what made the older ones all disgruntled. They're like, I got a pogo stick. He got a bike. I get it.
Wait a minute. This isn't even a pogo stick. It's just a stick. Mm-hmm.
But that was the beginning of cheap stuff in America, too. Because when their pogo stick was still good when we were older. We were thing's fucking brass tacks. Half the stuff we got broke in the first month.
Oh, yeah. Pogo stick is a really good example because that's one of those things that you're basically beating the shit out of it by using it.
But I remember it was Bakelite handles and everything. It was like they were, but it was a matter, you did it 3 times and then one foot would slip off, the thing would spring back, hit you in the chin. You go, all right, I'm done. Time out. I'm over it.
Oh, there's a great YouTube video of a pogo stick demonstration at a school where a guy just basically wrecks his face and swallows his teeth in front of in front of a room of 10-year-olds are all just horrified.
Those are always good. Like up until when oh shit and his head is headed right for the edge of the table. He thought this was a great idea. And his parents were behind him 100%. We got to do this. No, yeah, that's great. So this is a very scientific approach of dynamics of spring dynamics and gravity. This is a great idea. Yes. Bring your pogo stick to school. You have permission.
A pogo stick's probably the most dangerous toy, even more dangerous than a trampoline.
No, because once you get confident with it, that's when you're dangerous. Yeah. You're like, I could jump off the roof. Well, technically you can't, but
on a pogo stick, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's when you learn about spring dynamics and
Obamacare.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other biggest ripoff I remember growing up was the spring shoes. The spring shoes were the biggest piece of shit ever. Strap them on. They got lumberjack belts on them. And then you go boing, 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 and you get no higher than you would if you weren't wearing them.
No, because you've just increased your weight by 15 pounds.
You look like a silly astronaut. You're like, yeah, look at me.
And what were they going to be used for? What were you going to do? Like I said, that you've increased your weight.
They're
Well, so there's a cat stuck in a tree. You just hop up there and rescue it.
No, but that was the example they gave. Be careful. Don't get too high in that kind of spacesuit. And you're like, oh, I got a feeling these things, maybe I'm doing it wrong after fucking 3 months. You're like, no. Pretty much it's a way to unload 4 slinkies at a time, I think.
Well, I didn't go to space, but I do have 2 bad ankles now.
It was horrible. So I get done with Vegas, right? And I get home and I fly out at whatever, which would have been noon. I fly out at noon. I'm going to be home by 6. I can go to work, and then I work all night, and then I go home, and then I go to bed. And this is all going to work. And I have to check out the hotel. Then I realized after our epic party we had that I've got to be at the airport really by 8:30. I laid down at 8:03, closed my eyes, opened my eyes at 8:24. That's how much sleep I got. And then I grabbed my stuff, ran down the lobby. My friend's down there. We jump in a cab. We get to the airport. We get through security. No line. We look behind us. There's 2,000 people coming to security. So we timed it right. We get there. We wait an hour for the plane. We fly home. Everything goes smooth. I go to work all night, exhausted, get home, go to bed. 7 a.m, phone rings. It's the Flamingo where we stayed. Nice suite they gave us too. And they go, hello, this is Lost and Found. I go, yeah. And they go, did you leave anything in your room? I go, fuck, a dead hooker? I don't know. Because I realized a live hooker would like escape. But
her name's Cherry. She just wants to get paid.
But the guy's playing 20 questions with me. I've had literally an hour of sleep. I'm like, I don't know. He goes, could it have been money? And I go, could have been. Sure. And he then goes, well, do you know how much? And I go, I didn't know I left money. So how would I know how much? And I go, no. So he asked me my favorite place to hide money. And I said, well, buy the safe and a towel. Because if they break in your safe, they move the towel out of the way. Oh. And then in the light, you take the light bulb out of the lamp desk. Mm-hmm. And then you hang it on the wire that holds the top of the light. Because they're not going to they're not stealing the lamp. They're stealing whatever's around the lamp. And they can't turn the light on, so they can't see. Mm-hmm. So I hang it there, or I put it in the Bible. And so I give him my 3 spots. He puts me on hold for 15 minutes. I'm going in and out of consciousness. He comes back. He goes, okay, do you have anybody in town that can come pick it up? Oh. And I go, everybody had just left. So I go, no, I got nobody. He goes, well, I could mail it to you, but it'll take 5 weeks. I go, what do I care? I thought it was gone.
I didn't even know I lost it.
Yeah. So he goes, okay, I can mail it to you. So I'm like, all right.
How awesome of the Flamingo. Like, I would have been like, did you leave anything in your room? I don't know. Okay, that means no. Goodbye.
I tried.
Yeah. End of conversation.
Yeah. So I go, okay, whatever. And then he goes, all right. And I go, can I ask you how much? And he goes, yeah, it was $200. We found $200 in your room. So,
bonus.
So I made money after I left Vegas.
Man.
I mean, technically.
The winning streak just kept going.
But what was weird is I'm so jaded now. I was like, $200. I go, hey, any chance you go down, put it on red or black? I go, just before you send that check, just double it or keep it. But yeah, that's my story. I thought that was amazing. So Flamingo, thank you very much. That was very nice. You didn't have to do that.
Customer loyalty reward program.
I mean,
your results may differ.
If I was housekeeping, I'd have gone, what a weird place to leave a tip, hanging off a lamp. So you've listened to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker, trying to find Wi-Fi in the birdhouse.
I'm John Norris, trying not to freeze to death in Anchorage, Alaska.
And I'm Ggreg Chaille in Bisbee, Arizona. I am now looking for my spring shoes.
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's backyard bus. Engineered by me, Ggreg Chaille.
Thank you, Las Vegas. You never let me down.